guys, my name is Alima, and this is my very first YouTube video and also my very first review of Medical Wives or Married to Medical Season 10, Episode 3. We opened with Dr. Jackie and Simone, and I don't care about Dr. Jackie and her patient, but they start talking about sweet tea, and this conversation had a very strong air of um, condescendence. Is that the word? I hope that's the word. Because okay, I see multiple aspects or multiple point of views you could look at this conversation from, but the main one was condescendence because mainly because of how they were speaking. And the doctors have a bad habit of doing this. But anyways, mainly because how they were speaking, because they were like, well, the baby is overwhelmed. She got too much to do. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yes, the average person can't afford, like, to have a housekeeper or, like, a chef and stuff like that or whatever Letitia likes to spend her money on, whatever luxuries that she likes to have. But if you have the means, like you all do, which Jackie, you could use a chef because, baby, you don't know how to cook, honey, so you should have sat this one out. But anyways, if you have the means, why not? So, yeah, I just felt like they were low-key hating. But then on the other hand, Letitia, I recall you saying how there's certain things that you still have to pay for, like Gregory basically pays for the necessities, aka the bare minimum. Anyways, but yeah, so you said basically there's things that you still have to pay for. So in other words, you still have to work. But then at the same time, you said that he expects dinner to be made every day. Baby, if I have to work, why is me making dinner an expectation and a requirement? Like, okay, those what do they call them, sexual roles, women men roles, whatever it's called, I understand that. Not really, but anyways, I get that. But if I have to work, why is that an expect, like a rule that I have to follow? Like, what, a requirement? Baby, you crazy as hell. But as far as Letitia and Greg, speaking of Letitia, we see her and Heavenly having dinner. And every time somebody from Texas comes on this show, they make us look so tacky. Like, I wish that Letitia never, I wish she would have just stuck with Arkansas. Because why did you have to say you was from Texas? Then, now, people are automatically assume that we ride around on horses and wear cowboy boots and cowboy hat like it's as everyday wear. I've never even owned a pair of cowboy boots and cowboy hats, and I was raised in Texas. Like, I've been here since I was 2. So, like, why did you have that cowboy hat on, girl? Like, it just felt like a prop. Like, it felt like you were trying to emphasize the fact that you were from Texas. But baby, whenever, if you're from Texas, then you're just from Texas. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. I mean, if that's your style, I can't tell you how to dress, but it just felt like that's not what you wear on an everyday basis for some reason. That's just how I felt about that hat. But anyways, I'm spending too much time on this cowboy hat. But no, because the only time I recall seeing a bunch of cowboy hats around Texas is when Beyonce came to town. Like, other than that, we are not just going to dinner with cowboy hats on. But anyways, she proceeds to tell Heavenly all her business, which On one hand, I want to say she's slow for that. Maybe let's not say slow, since I want to say she's a little not smart for that, because like why would you be talking to Heavenly? But then at the same time, like if she feels that comfortable to be talking to Heavenly, Heavenly must have made her feel like they were friends like that. So like Heavenly, even though you're my fave, for you to be having this lady feel like y'all are just, buzzing buddies like this, for how you be dogging her out, it's just like I don't like it. Like why y'all why are you Quad and her Bob dogging this lady out like she was the mistress, like it was her fault that Gregory and Quad got a divorce from a marriage that she never wanted to be in the first place. I didn't got sidetracked. She's Letitia telling Heavenly about how she feels like Gregory has controlling ways. Girl, don't sugarcoat it, honey. Gregory is controlling. And I kind of get the sense that you feel like it's just going to magically get better when y'all get married. But baby, it's going to magically get worse. And you're going to magically have a terrible time because Gregory is unhinged. Okay? And I want to say I'm surprised that he hasn't changed, but I'm not surprised that he hasn't changed. Because that man. Anyways, she said that Gregory, in order to teach her a lesson, first of all, why are you trying to teach me a lesson, baby? I'm not a dog. Andy, I had a dog that I did not want. Why are you trying to teach me a lesson, honey? Like, I'm grown as hell. Why are you trying to teach me a lesson? And on top of that, the way you went about it is very extreme. Like, robbery, burglary. Like, Greg is probably the one who set up Anila and her family to get robbed while Quad was trying to say it was Toya then. But yeah, I just felt like that's borderline. I don't know. Y'all know YouTube don't like certain words. That is foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Abuse. Some sort of it. Some level of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just very strange behavior. And that's a major red flag. Like, we would have had to. I hope they're in counseling. So, then we see Simone having dinner with her boys and Cecil. And basically, Simone wants her kids to be more. Simone wants her kids to be more independent, and she feels like basically the same thing that she was saying earlier about Letitia and our so-called generation feeling like things should just be given to us. All that stuff she was saying about Letitia, basically that's how she feels about her kids. So that's probably why she felt so strongly about Letitia having luxuries. You know what I'm saying? But baby, don't be projecting over there, honey, when it's really that you feel that way about your kids. And I'm sorry, Simone, because I really like you, but yeah. And then Cecil kind of feels he's like more laid back about it. I kind of feel like they should like go with the medium between the two with how Simone and Cecil feel about the situation, because like I get wanting to set your kids up to be independent, but at the same time, if you have the means to make it easier, why not make it easier? But I understand Simone's concern, and what does Cecil do? Speaking of Hefferly, now we see her cooking with Laura, and she's telling Laura. Side note, I used to hate when my mom used to tell me. You need to learn how to cook. You have to learn. Don't tell me I have to, because then I don't want to. Like, I'm gonna cook for my man because I want to cook for my man, not because he requires me to cook. But anyways, Alora's like, he's not gonna want spaghetti, and then Heavenly's like, spaghetti is how you keep your man. And in my head, I knew where she was going with it, but then it was confirmed when Alora when she was like, it's what you put in it. Is that just a thing in the darker hued community, like, that we know about, or like, do the others know about? Like, I wonder if other people were confused when they were watching that at home. Like, what is she talking about? What you putting in the spaghetti? Sugar? No, baby, not sugar. That too, but not sugar. And Dr. Damon gets home, talking about some, hey, beautiful little baby. Hey, buddy. Why does Dr. Damon talk like he's talking to a dog all the time? Like, no matter what he's saying. Hey, how you doing now? How you feeling today? Oh, I haven't seen you all day. Like, why don't he talk like that? But anyway, they started talking to her about how they want her to stay home. And I like how Dr. Damon admitted that his reason for wanting Alora to stay home was sexist, because it was very sexist. But then when he spoke about it further and was like how his main concern was like just being able to get to her quickly in case of an emergency, then I was like, okay, I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was sexist. And then they showed us a picture of Heavenly and Dr. Damon when they were younger, and Heavenly looked good. I can see why Damon was touching on her behind the schoolhouse and said that he had to marry her ever since. I thought it was really sweet when Dr. Damon started crying in the confessional, because like, it's very common in the Black community to have like tumultuous relationships with your parents, or like, you know, just to not feel understood, or like knowing your parents love you but not feeling love growing up. So like, it's kind of nice to it's very nice to see positive parent-child relationships on TV, especially with a Black cast. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of parent-child relationships, we cut to Eugene and his boys, and Avery is too old for Eugene to be licking his finger and cleaning his face. Like, no, now he has to smell your spit on his top lip the rest of the day. Like, more about the sex talk, child. I'm all sex talked out, honey. I do not care. But I thought it was funny when they asked about periods, and then in the confessional, Eugene was like, even though that's a better question for Toya, I'm probably more equipped to answer anyways. That was shade, but it was true. But did y'all hear Phaedra call Simone Inspector Gadget when she got? That really made me chuckle. But Phaedra has no room to talk, because I feel like Black women can wear blonde hair, but I don't like blonde hair on Phaedra. For some reason, it always looks so, between the hair and her foundation or her makeup, everything just looks so dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can start a bushfire. You know what I'm saying? It's giving tumbleweed. Like, even though, like, her hair is not a mess or nothing, but it's just dry. Everything about about her is just dry looking. And then Eugene talking about they're gonna have a nice wholesome night. Basically trying to say that they're just doing charity work. Y'all are not fast for honey. Y'all are going to the strip club and throwing dollar bills. If anybody was ready and prepared for this night and slept with their clothes at the edge of the bed, ready for the next day, we all know it was Curtis Big. Anyways, at the bachelorette party, Letitia finally gets there and they pamper her and whatnot. And then she's like, I wonder what they're doing over there, and they're like probably getting crazy or whatever. And then she's like, Letitia was like, not Gregory. Gregory's conservative, and I'm like, ma'am, you really don't know this man, or you do and you're just in denial, or you just said that just to say it. Like, I don't know, but there's no way you believed it when it came out your mouth. And then as soon as she said that, they cut to Gregory motorboating in some tatas. Like, but if I was a stripper and Greg was the groom and Curtis was there on top of that, baby, I would have had to go home sick that night. So we go back to the bachelorette party and Letitia gets a phone call that she gets a phone call that basically she got a budget increase, like $14,000. And I'm like, man, I mean, nobody wants to spend $14K, but like, I thought Greg had it like that. Like, I thought he could at least, throw $14K just, he said he was paying for the wedding, so pay for the wedding. And so she gets really frustrated, which I understand. And when you're mad, you probably, even though somebody's trying to comfort you, you probably may not want that comfort in that moment. But her sister tried to comfort her, and she just went haywire. I was like, baby, I'm your sister. Like, what is going on here, ma'am? Like, why? Okay, she is stressed out. Maybe, I said, I don't want you to marry. But, she goes haywire and starts screaming. You would have thought somebody, like, we was in the labor and delivery ward. Like, not paving Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone. Like, she was yelling and screaming, all because as soon as her sister tried to, help her. I'm like, I get people saying that they're glad that her blowing up didn't end up being about Quad, because Quad shouldn't see that she's getting the best of her. But for as extreme as it was, I much rather her would have went off about Quad being there like that, cause that was a little I'm sorry, if I was there I would have been laughing, cause I have a tendency to laugh in awkward situations. But baby, that was a bit unhinged. Like, yeah, I didn't like that. So after Letitia loses her rabbit mind, we cut back to the strip club, and Gregory's like, what's that on my head? What's that on my head? They're going buck wild over there and having themselves a good old time. Jackie's like, I know my husband knows better. He knows he'll lose his hands and his feet. Honey, Curtis wouldn't know better if better was his first name. Like, Jackie, be quiet. So we cut back to the bachelorette party, and then Heavenly's talking about how she knew that meltdown was coming and that she felt like the wedding is cursed and it doesn't need to happen. And Letitia's friend is sitting there the whole time, and I can't decide if she's being a good friend because maybe she's being quiet because she's trying to get all the tea, or if she's being a bad friend because she's being quiet. Because if it was me, I wouldn't have been able to just sit there quiet. I would have been like, hold on, before y'all finish, let me go get Letitia so that, you know, she can be here. And then y'all can finish this conversation. But I guess. And then I get Heavenly. I understand Heavenly 100%, but at the same time, like I said, I still feel like she's being unnecessarily mean to that lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, that lady was not a mistress or nothing. So Letitia comes back from her meltdown and she apologizes to her sister. And at this point, Phaedra's getting messages that Quad has now arrived. And Phaedra, as much as I wanted to see you back on TV, honey, you ain't shit. I'm sorry, but like, why would you do that? And then your excuse about, well, y'all had been asking where now is not the time. And you knew damn well now was not the time. Like, I understand that this is TV, but baby, that was. But Letitia took it well, I guess. I mean, I understand people giving her praises because, yeah, she shouldn't let Quad see her sweat. But I don't think I would have. Maybe Quad would have to see me sweat that day, honey, because I would have been, no, ma'am. Can you leave? You need to leave. So Quad comes in, and then here goes Heavenly. Oh, Quad! You know, her little squeaky laugh or whatever. And she brings a gift. I guess it's supposed to make it better. But Quad, as much as you felt betrayed, like, I get you, maybe if they didn't tell you that Greg and his new wife was going to be on this season, I get you feeling blindsided in that sense. But going into this scene, you know exactly where you're going. So for you to be so feeling so disrespected, and on top of that, this man was supposed to be you and him was supposed to be fighting in that house. I don't understand why you would even want to be here. It's really weird. And then, like, you have the nerve to carry yourself like everybody just is dying. Just everybody just loves to be around Quad. Quad is just the moment. But, like, baby, are you the moment? Or are you forcing yourself into the moment? I don't know. But I just don't think that was a good idea. And Phaedra, you're full of it. But anyways, this is my first review. It's probably a little rusty because I've never done this before, never seen in front of the camera. I hope my personality was, infectious enough for you guys to come back. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.